Hello, people. So today I'd like to talk about a state job that I had an interview for. Now, to get this interview, I did not have to take a civil service test. I just got this interview by applying on the state website to the position, and they went over my resume and they called me for an interview. However, I did have to take tests during the interview. The job was for a legislature processor position. A legislative processor is somebody who proofreads bills and amendments for the state. So after bills and amendments pass, it goes to a certain department, and the legislative processor goes through the bills and amendment and proofs it for spelling mistakes and punctuation mistakes and just make sure that it's correct. So to get this position, I had to go to downtown by the state house because it was a government position, and the parking was terrible. I didn't know where to park. I ended up having to park underground, and just getting a parking spot was a huge hassle. I didn't feel like the job started out well. Also, the building the interview was in was right across from the state house, and it was heavily secured. So you had to walk through, a bunch of security to get up to the floor to actually go on the interview. But, it is a job for the state. So, and the governor is in that building. So, it made sense. So the first thing they did was they put me in a room and they started giving me tests. So I had to take a typing test, which this test was a normal typing test. I just had a paragraph of text I had to type in within, I think, 5 minutes. And that went well, I thought. And then they gave me a spelling test. And then they gave me a test over plurals. How you make certain words plural. And then they gave me a test over sentence structure. And then, what else did they do? They set me down with one of the people who do the same job, and they showed me how they proofread language. Somebody would read the text, and I would double check it. So it was a weird process, but that was pretty easy. After that portion, after they gave me all the tests, I ended up meeting with three different ladies, the head of the department and two of the people that did the same job, and they interviewed me. And I thought that I gave a really good interview. I was totally relaxed this interview. They just basically asked me about my background. They explained the position. I told them why I wanted the position. It wasn't a lot of star questions, which was kind of good. It was just, a very casual atmosphere, which I was very surprised about because this was a state job. However, I did learn some things in that interview. I asked them a question about job mobilization. What is the career path for a person in this position? And after some back and forth, they got around to telling me that people in the position are not promoted because of their ability. They're promoted because of their time of service. So they promote people based on how long they're there, not on if they do a great job or not. So you can work your butt off in this job and do better than somebody that's been there for 10 years, but that person's going to get promoted over you. They just plainly told me that, which is something I didn't know. They also referred to me as a civilian, and they said that, they explained to me that working with them was going to be different than working in corporate America, So that was new. I've never heard that before. Um, but I appreciated their honesty, just letting me know up front that that's how it works. There was also something else about this job. For a state job, this job did not pay anything. It only paid like $20 an hour. And I figured, well, for a state job, it would pay a lot more than that, but no. Um, and one thing I noticed about applying for um, state and federal jobs, they don't pay well. I mean, they suck. Um, Now, county jobs pay a lot better, but state and federal jobs really don't pay anything. The reason why I want a state and federal job is, first of all, they really don't lay off, and second of all, the benefits are great, but they don't pay well, and they don't promote based on a job performance. They promote based on longevity. And frankly, at my age, I don't have a lot of longevity. I'm not going to be somebody that's going to spend 20 years in that job. I mean, I would be 75 years old, and I just don't think that I would spend that long there. So that was something interesting that I learned in the position. Um, I thought all the ladies that I talked to were very nice. They also looked at my resume, and they said that maybe because I have a degree in journalism, that I could move to actually writing bills and amendments. Which, by the way, I do have a degree in journalism, but my major was advertising. So, which I've never really used. I mean, I got into graphic design right after school, and never really used my advertising degree. I graduated from journalism in the very early '90s. So I don't know if I could write bills or amendments. Technically, they're so technically written that it would take a lot of practice and learning. Um, but it was nice of them to suggest that. Also, I wanted this job not because of the money, but because the money sucked. Like I said, I consider working on bills and amendments patriotic. Doing something for the country, doing something for my community. But anyway, after the interview, I had a really good feeling about it. I got along with every single person that interviewed me in that position. I gave really good answers. The only thing that I worried about were some of the tests, because it had been a long time since I had taken a grammar test or a spelling test, and to graduate in the journalism school, you actually have to take a test over grammar and spelling and stuff. And if you have three uh, tries to pass, and if you don't pass on the third try, they kick you out of school. So, I passed that a long, long, long time ago. So I don't know how I did on the test, but I left that interview feeling really, really good. And after the interview, I sent them thank you emails, and I was fully expecting, to get the job. However, about a week later, I got a rejection email saying that they had hired somebody else for the job. And, I was kind of upset about it. But then I thought, this job doesn't really pay anything, and I would be driving all the way downtown for the position. And there's parking problems downtown. And initially when I got out of my car downtown, some beggar came up to me and wanted money, and I don't know if I want to go through that every single day, but this was a different type of job experience. Going through security, um, working near the state house, all that stuff. This was a good experience. I liked the experience, but like I said, I didn't get the job, and you know, um, there's always another day. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this job. If you like this video, Please give it a like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.